Yeah. We got it. We got the intro. We get it. We're live. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It's Tuss Talk with Ty. I am Ty Hudson. Hope you guys are doing well. Unfortunately, not able to stream this on the ASN Facebook page because we're using different software that I can't get connected to Facebook. So this will just be on Tuss Talk with Ty, but I'll try to drop the full video. I'll have it downloaded and sent over to ASN. Hopefully Facebook will let me do that. So if you're from ASN and you're like, what's going on? We didn't see this today. What's happening, Ty? That's why we're using some different using StreamYard for this. All right. Welcome everybody. Tuss Talk with Ty, Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget we've got about 11 days. If you haven't upgraded your account to legendary status for a shot at one of these four, well, 3 of them are autographed, right? Matt Jones, Tyler Wilson. We got the Jamal Anderson shiny autographed. And then, of course, we've got the Dare McFadden game worn card. Look at that's gorgeous, man. That's such a cool card. So if you're a legendary status member, you're going to have a shot at one of those 4 cards. It's going to be 4 different winners. So, yeah. Okay. And we've also got the other cards as well for $8 folks and the $4 folks as well. Shout out to the sponsors. The very first sponsor and still sponsored to this day, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. Travis, I mean, he is, guys, I almost just consider him a part of what I do. He helps with thumbnails. He helps with overlays. He pays me to be a sponsor for all this. You guys, listen, if you have any work that needs to be done with your garage door or whatever in your garage that has to deal with that pulley system, the door, whatever, give him a call. It's free to come out. He'll come. He'll check it out for you for free. Give them a call, 501-244-3667. And remember, they operate out of Central Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. Give them a call. Have them come help you out. It's about to be rainy season, so you're going to really want to make sure that garage door shuts tightly. I had to have him help me out with that too. I couldn't get my door to mesh correctly with the pavement. He came right out and did it. Just like that, baby. Also, Insurance Max. They cover all 4 corners of our wonderful state. They offer business, personal, life, and health insurance, retirement. They shop the best rates for you. All these links are provided for you down below in the description box. So make sure you go and check these guys out. Support, especially these local companies, man. Local businesses. That's where it's at. You guys know I'm gonna give shout outs to even folks that aren't sponsors every once in a while as well. So, of course, you want to support the folks that support your boy. All right. We've got a special first-timer coming up on Tuss Talk with Ty. It is the one, the only, Courtney Mims. How you doing, Courtney?
I'm great. I'm so excited you wanted to have me on the show because I feel like a true celebrity now. I mean, people actually wanted to hear from me. So I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, if you're living under a rock and you don't know who she is, Courtney, of course, is on Pig Trail Nation. She's a part of Ask Mike. We know she does that segment with him, and that's always a blast. I try to catch every one of those. Mike is always a hoot, and you do a great job with him, Courtney.
Thanks. I usually have to rein him in. That's what they have me on. I'm like Mike's handler. So. That's what I kind of joke as, he sometimes goes on tangents and everyone loves his rants, but we got to rein him in sometimes.
Well, he's an OG,
Yeah.
There's not many of those guys around, him and guys like Otis Kirk and Dudley Dawson. And it's cool to still have these guys around, these OGs that know a thing or two.
Yeah. And knowledge. I mean, again, this is why I love going on the show with him, because I feel like I learn something every single Monday. Like he has a story to tell me, or he has something to share with me. And I go, wow, thank you. I didn't know that, but now I do. So thank you. So it's great. His knowledge, when you've been covering the Razorbacks for 50 years now, that's what you get.
Golly. And his hatred of Texas. It's unreal.
Don't get him started on 2 things. Texas and his hatred of Texas. And for the Aggies. I'll tell you that because he calls them Aggie weirdos. we have a lot of Aggie fans that I have to mute from the comments every week, guys. You have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. I have to mute them from our comments. They do not like Mike. He is public enemy #1 in what he calls Aggie land. So I just want to let you guys know that I do mute a lot of mean comments from Aggie fans.
When I first started doing this, I really ragged on A&M a lot. And I did catch every once in a while, not real often. I'd get one or two in the live chat, or I'd get a DM from a hateful Aggie fan. Oh, you're just typical. And they love to say Arky. You're just a typical
Arky. You're an Arky.
Yeah.
What is an Arky? Someone please in the comments let me know, where did that nickname come up? Where? I've never heard Arky except from Aggie fans.
Yeah, it's strange. It's very odd. Oddly enough, though, I was talking about this in Discord. My dad took that persona on, and his name is Arky56.
Love it.
And he's in the comments all the time. He's on War Machine's videos, Trey Biddy's videos, Ask Mike. I know he's commenting on those videos.
On our comment, I was about to say, I was like, I recognize that username.
Oh yeah, he's infamous. Pops, I'm sure he's watching this later. He was excited about this, by the way, Courtney. He was like, "You got Courtney Mims on? Holy cow, that's awesome!"
Well, listen, that's awesome. Shout out to your dad for watching. Shout out to your dad. There you go.
That's right, Bob. Hope you enjoy the show, everyone. Not just my dad, not just Arky56, but I hope you guys enjoy it so much so that you like, share, and if you're new here, feel free to hit the subscribe button. We kind of do it all. We have Discord, which Courtney is a part of. She's a part of the Tuss Talk Discord family, as it were. She's also in our online league. I mean, this girl, and she's also talking to you in the media room the other day. I knew you were a gamer. Holy cow. I think you're beyond me.
You think so?
I think so. Okay. Yeah. You talking about all your love for Halo, and of course talking about EA College Football 2.5. Yeah, I think if at the very least you're right up there with me.
Yeah, I think people are surprised when I talk about games and everything, because I also play, like I told you, I was playing in a Dead by Daylight tournament this past week. And then I played Fortnite with a lot of different people and really cool people as well. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'm just here for the fun. And I played video games my whole life. So if anyone wants to chat video games with me ever, that is a passion of mine. So we can chat whatever, Fallout, Halo, Fortnite, whatever you want to do. Call of Duty, I'm not really as into that. So if you want to talk about Call of Duty, sorry, but everything else.
Well, I want to pick, because you said Fallout, and we're gonna have to shelf that, because later on we're gonna talk. I'm a huge Fallout nerd. I love Fallout.
If there's any Fallout nerds in the chat, I bet they will enjoy that. So.
Yeah, we're gonna have to table that. We're gonna have to come back and talk about some Fallout, if not at the very least in Discord. So, well, let's dive into it. Of course, you guys know she's a picture. I've got my introduction here, and I'm way out of line. We know her from Picture on Network, of course, the one and only Courtney Mims. She's a part of, like I said, our Discord. She's also an honorary Patreon member. She's a part of the infamous Tuss Talk with Discord. By the way, I appreciate the shout outs you've given the Discord as well. That's awesome. Let's start off with the NIL. We need an update on this, because there's so many moving parts, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You got Bet Saracen. You've got some other parties involved. I know that the CEO, or the chief marketing officer, Carlton Safa.
Yes. Yeah.
He wants to change the law. Can you kind of give us an update and fill us in on maybe what some of us are missing about this? Because again, it seems a little bit complicated, but then at the end, I don't think really it is. If you can get us up to date on that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is complicated when you look at it overall, right? You go, what are they trying to do? What is happening here? But basically, how it was explained to me, when you put it in layman's terms, right, it actually is a little bit more simpler than maybe some other fans might think. So let's go back to the very beginning really, really quickly. If you don't know what we're talking about, the CMO of Saracen, Carlton, went on social media. I think it started a week ago now, if my timelines.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Went on social media a week ago and started saying, look, I'm trying to do something to raise NIL money for Arkansas. And somebody is blocking me. And when you say something like that on social media, Hog fans, right? They latch on it. They're like, who is blocking you? Who is doing this? And he's like, I don't know, but somebody's blocking me. Well, come to find out, because, later a few days later, Oaklawn admits that they were the ones blocking them for this. So what were they blocking exactly? Well, it all started with when Carlton got a call from Arkansas Edge. And Arkansas Edge reached out to Carlton because they said, look, all of these other, not universities, sorry, excuse me, pro teams, Kansas City Chiefs do it, Florida Panthers do it. I mean, name a pro team and they probably have something in place like this. But they do these 50-50 raffles. If you're unfamiliar with a 50-50 raffle, the concept is simple. They raise money, you buy tickets at the event that you're at, you buy tickets. 50% of whatever they raise from this raffle goes to the winner. 50% goes to a charity, usually like a 501c profit, right? Or 501c non-for-profit, but not for profit, if I'm right on that. 501c brain work today. It's a Tuesday.
It's early.
But it usually goes for, a charity or something like that, right? For layman's terms. So they do these 50-50 raffles regionally, right? You have to be in the area to participate in said raffle, right? Well, Arkansas Edge was like, what if we do it on your app, right? The Bet Saracen app, and this is not, you can go and look up this information. It's one of the top sports betting apps, not only in Arkansas, but in the nation. It was number 7 or number 6 on the iTunes store for consecutive number of weeks last year. Wow. So there's a reason people use this app. So Arkansas Edge was like, hey, if we use your app, anyone in Arkansas can enter, we can make more money. Carlton was like, what a great idea, right? What a great idea. In order for this to happen, we need to change Arkansas law, though, because a 50-50 raffle is considered what they call iGaming, which is anything that's very simple, anything on your phone that's considered a betting. So like slots, right? That is iGaming. Mm-hmm. Anything that you can do betting-wise on your phone, aside from sports betting, is iGaming. So he was like, we have to get the law changed, right? And allow iGaming. Well, that's where you got other people and other players who don't want that to go through, right? Oaklawn said, whoa. We don't want that to go through. And they put out a letter that said, here's why we don't want it to go through. We think it'll make people want to go to casinos less. That's a great moneymaker in the area. The Arkansas Lottery was another reason they brought up, hey, the Arkansas Lottery makes a lot of scholarship money for students here in Arkansas. And we would like to make sure people still do that. If they have access to iGaming on their cellular device, they may not donate to or buy lottery tickets and help Arkansas Lottery. There was other reasons as well, but they basically said all of these reasons, we don't think it's a good idea. We don't think it's a good idea. If you read between the lines a little bit, right? Bet Saracen would want this to go through because it does benefit them. It does. Absolutely. Yeah. Right? Their app is a top app in the area. Now they're not trying to say, Oaklawn, like, we don't want you to succeed from this as well, but they know that Bet Saracen can do well if this is approved, right? Their app is really good, so that would be the case. Oaklawn's app, I didn't even know they had an app until last week, but found out they did have an app. So Oaklawn's app just not as popular, and maybe that's something they can change. Maybe that's something, if this goes through, they can think about making a push for their app as well.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the basics, is you have one side here that doesn't want it to go through. You have one side that does because it benefits them. Now you have other players in the game, right? Bobby Bones reached out and was like, listen, I don't care about any of this politics stuff. I just care about helping Arkansas. And so that's a good point in all of this, right? Is while we have this political, hey, one person wants this, one person doesn't, are we helping Arkansas? is any of these are any of these people trying to actually just give money to NIL right now? Because while a 50-50 raffle is a great idea and could absolutely help the university, what can we do right now without this law passed right now? So that's my question to everybody out there. And I feel comfortable saying that. What are you doing right now? I understand Oaklawn gave $500,000 to the foundation.
Yep.
But right now, the foundation, until that law passes, where they are trying to get it passed, and it should pass, where the schools can start paying the athletes themselves, and that should pass. There's nobody that doesn't expect it to pass. It just hasn't yet. When that passes, the foundation will be able to pay athletes. But right now they're not. So I'm wondering, like, what were you expecting with that donation, right? What were you kind of, why were we donating to the foundation? Why can't Saracen and Oaklawn donate to Arkansas Edge right now? And I don't know if they're not, but I'm just saying, why can't we donate to Arkansas Edge right now? The problem is right now. Right now we have a problem. And if you don't think so, I don't know what I can do to convince you. Right now there's an issue. And everybody needs to come together to find a solution to solve the issue. And if it's not a 50-50 raffle, what can we do? So, do you see what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my point when we talk about this, is like, what can we do right now?
Well, it looks strange too, because when you walk into the stadium, you've got Saracen slapped on parts of the stadium.
Everything. They just got brand new, like right by, I forgot where they put it, but it's like very prominent now. I think it's on like the 50-yard line where their logo is, but it's like literally just so prominent by the seats.
Yeah.
I took a picture of it the other day. So
yeah, it's ironic that they can do that and then not also be involved on the other end of this as well. I doubt it, but has anyone from Little Rock, has anyone from the state responded at all to any of this?
No, because, and I think some of that is because it needs to, you have them fighting right now. And until it actually goes to anybody for like a proposal phase, I think basically Saracen knows right now, if it goes up in front of people, they know Oaklawn's gonna has more influence, I guess. I think that's where I think, and this is me just saying what I think, because I have not talked to anybody specific about this. And I think you would have to get some people on the political side to kind of give you an idea of what. I am not a political gal, I'll be honest with you. I'm a sports gal. Politics, yeah, I get it. I know some things, but I think they know that they need to get enough push for it to pass, right? And so that's where you have Carlton pushing on social media for it, right? That's where you have Carlton putting out like rallying the troops basically, and saying, you need to get this passed. If it has enough push, it will go through.
It's got to. You feel like when it comes to Arkansas, I mean, if you're from here, 3 million plus people, and even some outsiders, transplants want Arkansas athletics to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is what they call, please, people don't get offended, they do call this Bible Belt, and gambling. Listen, I was raised Baptist, okay? Gambling is a huge no-no, and along with some other silly things, drinking and whatnot. But I try to stay away from politics, but I believe if you want to gamble your money, that should be your right. And with something like this, you feel like this might be the push needed to maybe legalize that form of gambling, but more so, more relevant to our conversation, I don't think this would be a tough sell at all in Little Rock. I really don't. I mean, they know their constituents, they know they want Arkansas to be successful. And if this is something that looks like it could help, I don't think they'll get much pushback.
I hope that that's the case. You just wonder, because every politician, has their influences. Every politician is influenced by someone. Newsflash: this is not, this is not breaking news, but they are influenced by people out there and people with deep pockets, right? And so I think it's more of a, who are they influenced by right now? And I think why it hasn't gone to even a proposal phase, right? And maybe it will. Maybe Carlton, maybe I have to catch up with Carlton, and I plan to see where he's at in the process with this, and to see where the process is. If Oaklawn is truly influencing those people, then he's that's why he's rallying people, right? That's why if they're truly blocking him,
yeah,
why he's rallying people and getting, everyday Arkansans involved in the issue.
Oaklawn does not want that smoke. I mean, if they're going to stand in the way of NIL, they don't want it. Courtney, I mean, they're going to lose a lot. I realize their relationship with the U of A and all that. I get that. But when it comes to the fans and getting in the way of their team, of the Razorbacks, if it's viewed as, or the narrative is, you're standing in the way, you're the big speed bump, they don't want any part of that.
That's the funny thing is I kind of said to some other people, if Oaklawn's truly owning that they are the ones blocking this, right? If they are
true, fair enough. Yeah.
Fair enough. And give them respect for that. But then you've got to turn around, and a $500,000 donation to the foundation is great, but show me, like, it's kind of like, show me your money. Show money where your mouth is, right? Like,
exactly.
Why don't you make a donation like Tyson to Arkansas Edge? Make a donation to Arkansas Edge like Tyson. Why not? Why not?
There you go.
That's my question to Oaklawn. If they listen to this stream, that's my question to you guys. Where's the donation? Well,
I certainly hope someone in Little Rock's listening, and I hope people at Oaklawn is listening. And I don't like it when you, I mean, this is how monopolies happen.
Yeah.
And we don't need that when it comes to, when it comes to the state of Arkansas. We don't need monopolies. We don't need cronyism. You need to let these people flourish and let the markets dictate. And I think fans are going to, if it's a big enough push, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Oaklawn's going to they're going to look like the bad guys. And again, I just don't think they want to be on that side.
I don't think they do either, because I think the goal is, when they spoke to Bobby and he kind of went out on social media and said, look, I had a great conversation with Oaklawn. I had a great conversation with them, those guys there. And I think the goal by both of these parties is getting more money for NIL. They just have different ideas of how they want to do that, right? They just have different ideas of how they can do that. Doesn't mean one is wrong, one is right. It just means they have different ideas. And what Carlton is doing brilliantly right now is he is using social media to kind of incite the fan base and get them, knowledgeable about what Saracen is trying to push. Which Oaklawn, quite frankly, they should be out on social media too, rallying and saying, this is why we feel this way.
Yes.
This is why we feel this way. I think both of them want the same thing. They just don't like the means of getting there. And so my question is, how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it, guys? How are we going to come together and kumbaya and figure out a way to get to the common goal?
Exactly. I think that's very well put. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted you on. When I was talking to Travis Ford, who he helps me with my thumbnails from time to time. He goes, hey, what are you, Courtney, going to talk about? And I was like, bro, it's going to be NIL. I basically just sent him a screenshot of the script for this show. And he was like, oh, I'm all about this. And the thumbnail, it's why it's got the NIL. And I think we put a casino thing on the top there. Again, shout out to Travis. He's my boy. Good guy. But yeah, I knew you would be able to clear this up, because I'd heard you talk with Mike about it. I knew you were doing some investigation. You were putting on the hat, so to speak, and going to work with it. And I knew I had to bring you on. It was awesome that you joined our Discord too, because that was all happening around the same time. And I was like, this is great.
And I feel bad for fans that kind of were like, we're confused. We don't know what's happening. And it kind of was like, guys, I just need a second, because I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to get, have Oaklawn, start getting the pitchfork out and be like, this girl, or coming out and getting.
Mike Irwin would fight him for you. I know he would.
I know. And Mike's kind of on the same, when we talked about it, Mike's on the same kind of idea that I am. We've talked about it extensively. And he goes, Courtney, I don't care whose side, that we're not on a side. Both of them are on the side of NIL. How, they have to figure it out. They need to fight it out. kind of amongst themselves a little bit
Yeah.
and figure out, is there a way we can do this? I don't know why we haven't just done a 50-50 raffle at every Arkansas sporting event for NIL.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You
I mean, because other people are doing it.
can't do it online, but you can do it there.
Yeah. There's loopholes in everything, Courtney.
I
They exist everywhere.
They should hire me on as their marketing person.
Absolutely.
Get me on, guys. I'll help you out.
You would crush it. I think you would absolutely crush it.
I've said so many times when I've talked about, like, with Arkansas Edge people, of like, this is how I think we can get Arkansans excited about donating. And I feel like I'm like, listen, I have some ideas about NIL that, like, I really do want to share with these people and, like, get them there, because I don't think it's a lack of Arkansans not having money or not wanting to donate. Like, I truly feel that it's like, what can you do for me? I think Arkansans are kind of smart, right? They're like, what are you offering me? Am I just paying for players, or am I getting something in return? And so that's where I think you have a little bit of a disconnect there with some of the people who, are a little unsure about NIL right now.
So speaking of Edge, it does seem like they're coming up short a little bit. And I know you're very well connected within the area. I mean, I know you talk to people. I know Mike talks to people. Do you feel like local businesses, local companies, we know Bentonville, Fayetteville, Springdale, they have their fair share. And I know this is also it might be a tough question, but do you feel like there's a want to support the Edge, and maybe some of them are holding back because they just don't believe in the current regime? Like, what are your feelers kind of telling you about the situation with Edge?
So I might upset people by this saying, I don't know if I will, but it's not about holding back because somebody doesn't like the current regime. I'll be honest with you. Most of the people I talk to, and people are going to be shocked about this, I'm going to say this. Most of the people I talk to in person here, and businesses and people who donate, like Sam Pitman, guys. They like Sam Pitman. Okay. They're not donating because they don't like Sam Pitman. All right. I don't know if that's going to offend anyone. I don't know. This is not me telling, lies over here, that they like Sam Pitman. What you just did was you just made a few people in Discord's heads swell, because there's this combative narrative between, and we're going to get to it in a minute. I'm going to talk to you about his hot seat, Sam Pittman's hot seat. That is a hot button issue it's one of the off-season pillars of conversation. Let's be real. Yeah.
But you just made a few people's heads swell, Courtney. That's what you just did.
Listen,
they feel vindicated.
I talk to business owners. I talk to people. Why they're not donating is because, and I've said this on Ask Mike, guys. I have said this before. I'm like a broken record. When Edge first came out, there was an issue with people trusting them. Who are these people? Why are they technically not associated with the university, but associated with the university? Where is my money going to? What's going on? And I said there's a lack of transparency with what's happening with the money that they're getting. And I think people are a little bit like, oh, I don't know enough. I don't feel comfortable giving my money to something that I don't really know the full story about. So, we did our due diligence in trying to find out what's going on with Edge and trying to gain an understanding. We didn't get anything through our interviews, right? We just got, for lack of something better to say here, is like, we just got a regurgitation of their website, and that's it. And how do we know? How do fans know their money's going to that? Well, they can choose on the website where it's going to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how do we know they're getting it? I mean, are the athletes coming out and saying, thank you so much, I got this from Edge, or the coach? Like, how do we know? Well, you just have to know. Like, okay. I don't know about you guys, but when something new gets introduced, you do your research, right? Absolutely. You do your research, especially when money's involved. And I think Arkansans aren't stupid. I think Arkansans know, they want to know where their money is going and how it is being used for the good of the university. And so the foundation, when people give to the foundation, they absolutely do that. That I've talked to boosters that say, I know where my money's going. I've talked to similar boosters that go, listen, and I'm going to say this right now, I'm not going to tell anybody who it was, but I spoke to somebody who gives a lot of money to women's sports, women's athletics here, that gives to softball, women's basketball, gymnastics, track and field. And they had spoken to someone within one of those programs. And they said, how are you using my money? I've been donating to Arkansas Edge. And they said, somebody close to the program said, I haven't seen that money. So
wait, what?
Maybe I'm getting it. Maybe it's coming. But and so they had shared that story with me. And I said, whoa, that's
Wow.
That's ooh.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
That to me,
I don't know how it's not.
And so to me, I was like, where's the transparency? Right now, they could absolutely have given that money, right? Or in a week or two later, given them that money, right? But I worry about where I just like, how are we're not seeing where this money is being used. We're not seeing, we see athletes come out and say, thank you, Arkansas Edge. Thank you so much. But like, I don't know. I'm just like, with NIL being such a closed door, right? We don't know how much money athletes are making. We don't know anything. Now, On3, if you go to On3, well, but Courtney, I saw an estimation of every NIL athlete in the area. Let me just tell you firsthand, that's estimations. They are wrong. They are wrong. So let me just say, and I love On3. Don't like, this isn't slandering. I'm not trying to slander On3. Those are estimations, and estimations can be wildly wrong. So when you go and you look up how much Rocket Sanders is making last year or KJ Jefferson, let me just tell you, they're wrong.
They're wrong.
So I just wonder, especially with just how closed doors NIL is, right? We don't know how much money the athletes are making. We don't know who's making the most money. We don't know who's not making any money at all. It's something that I feel like people want transparency. People want to know. And I get it. That's not maybe an Arkansas Edge thing. And I understand that athletes can disclose that information if they want to. It's not something that we can FOIA request. We can't just FOIA request and see. Those are business deals between an athlete and a business, or athletes in Arkansas Edge, that we can't see. But transparency, I just asked for some transparency. And listen, if there's someone from Arkansas Edge listening to this, I have said the same thing since you guys started. So don't be mad at me. Don't get upset at me. I just want transparency. That's all.
I think that's all anyone's asked for.
Yeah.
And wow, that's really interesting. You just dropped some bombs there.
So,
speaking to not knowing. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I just want to say again, listen, I get told a lot of different things from people in the community. Yeah. And I'm not, revealing names, but if, Arkansas just going, well, we got the money to them. That's great. Let me know. Yeah. Let me know. But right now, I know nothing from you guys. Sometimes you guys don't answer our emails or inquiries. And I get it. You guys are closed doors. But I'm telling you what the people want. They want transparency. And so listen, I'm not trying to blow them up. I'm not trying to, I've been very annoyed from the beginning as a journalist who wants to give people answers and haven't gotten a lot. And so that's where I think they're struggling. You come on Pig Trail Nation and you do a 40-minute sit down with us, or you come on the Tuss Talk with Ty and you do a 40-minute sit down and answer questions. I bet you will increase people's idea of you. But so far you haven't done that. And that makes me go, question. What's going on? So I just wanted to clear that up of like, if they want to come on, tell me, email me and say, listen, this is what's going on. we want to clear things up. Great. I will absolutely change my tune. But, me and Mike have said the same thing since they came out. We just don't know.
Yeah. Well, and to speak to that, the other side of it, I am a small business owner. This is a LLC. All this is set up under an LLC. It's not like you see players cutouts sponsoring local businesses everywhere. It's not like you see those. It's not like you hear them on the radio. I'm not saying that there's none. I think maybe KJ Jefferson was on something a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it's not really visible that the players individually themselves, I know they're getting paid. You and I both know they're getting paid. But I think that goes towards that broader question, like where is all this money going? And why don't we see more, player representation around Northwest Arkansas and Little Rock, where some of these donors are? Why do we not see, or I should say businesses, not donors? Why is that? And I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm with you. It's a transparency issue, and there are just some question marks. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I agree completely. I really feel for people who reach out to, me, Mike Irwin, Alyssa Orange, and they're like, I just want some answers. And we've been trying. We're like, absolutely. We want answers too. It also doesn't look very good for PR when you have your executive director step down. Now, it was due to personal reasons, but how many times do we hear the excuse personal reasons? Yep. I read between the lines on that, and I'm like, it could be personal reasons, but it also could be because maybe you were in over your head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And optics matter too, right?
Yes, they do.
So, yeah. Wow. Well, there you go. For everyone who's curious about all this stuff with NIL, you just covered quite a bit. It seems like you've done quite a bit of digging, and I know that this is something you and Mike have talked a lot about. I don't know that do you think there'll ever be any form of transparency from them at all? Or is that something only they will ever know?
I don't know. That's a great question. And I wish I had the answer for you, being like, yeah, we're going to get it. They're actually going to sit down and do a whole thing. I've said so many times, guys, just come on a show. Just sit down with people, sit down with regular Arkansans. I even said, like, hey, I think our advertising team even reached out to them. I was like, hey, what if we had you on our station doing some advertising and got the message out of what you guys are trying to do in a way where it's like, hey, this is who they are and what they're trying to accomplish. Nothing.
Wow.
So I wish I could tell you if that's coming, but that's why I think you're struggling. It's struggling to get members. Personally, I just think that's a reason. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some people in the comments that go, actually, it's because of this. I don't want to donate to NIL or anything like that. To those people, I ask, why don't you want to donate to NIL? If it is a transparency issue, I understand. If it is something against Arkansas Edge, I understand, because I'm feeling the same way. Like, I'm putting myself in your shoes and going, would I feel comfortable giving to this? I don't know. But I also wonder, those people that are so against giving their money, right? So against giving their money to anything NIL related. I just wonder why, and why people have that attitude, because this is where we're in NIL. We're not even headed there. This is where we are right now.
Yeah.
We're in a world of NIL. And I said this on Ask Mike the other day, and I got a little bit, heated, because I hate when people come and they say, Courtney, I don't want to give to athletes. I don't want to pay for them. I want it to be the old way, where they just want to play, because they want to play. And I go, that's great. Hey, that was an awesome world of college sports that we were in, but we're not in there anymore. And you got to get with the times, right? Is that you are going to be left in the dust if you do not do something, if you do not understand that this is where we are and this is what's happening. I will tell you honestly, I have heard stories of Arkansas losing out on some incredible players because of NIL, because a rival school turned around and offered them more money.
Yeah.
And listen, that story has change out the name, change out the athlete, but it's a common theme.
Well, this was the other part of it, and I definitely not like you, but I have reached out to a few people, looking for some more sponsors on the show, and sometimes we will discuss Arkansas Edge or just kind of getting their thoughts on NIL a little bit, and a lot of the pushback I've gotten is return on investment. It's Sam Pitman has won 10 games in 2 years. What am I giving my money to? I don't see a lot of ROI here. I don't see a good return on my investment, which I understand that. I get that. And to be fair, I think only maybe 2 people have said that to me of the maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 people I've talked with about that are business owners. And someone said, I can't put this on the screen, but Mason says, I won't give money for a blank product. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And it's hard to push back on that. I get that. Hopefully they can change the narrative a little bit this year.
But let me ask those people, right? I understand. Was that Mason's comment there? I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this, right? How are things going to change if you're losing out on your top players in the transfer portal because they want to come play for Sam Pitman? They want to come play for Travis Williams and Bobby Petrino. They want to come play for this coaching staff.
Yeah.
I've heard from so many players that love Sam Pitman. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm a Sam Pittmanite. I understand where people are upset. I understand. Trust me. Listen, I'm a Florida grad, full disclosure. I understand. I'm the first one to get out the pitchfork for Billy Napier. Trust me. I understand where you are coming from.
Whose seat is hotter?
But I will say this. There are players that want to come play in Arkansas. They want to play for this team. They want to be a star on this team. They want to play for Sam Pittman and Coach Williams and Coach Petrino, and go down the list of people that he has on this coaching staff right now that they would like to play for. But the problem is, hey, coach, I really want to come to Arkansas, but you guys aren't offering me enough money. And for my family, this is a business decision. We don't come from a lot of money. I may not make it in the NFL, but I need to go somewhere where I am going to see a return on investment for me, for myself. So while you want to stick your head in the sand and say, listen, I'm not donating until I see something better. Okay. Fine. Then how do you expect things to get better? Do you think getting a new coach in is going to miraculously change the football program? Do you think so?
No. Well,
I mean, seriously, because I want to know for what these people, who are you going to get that's going to miraculously change it? Maybe Nick Saban. Maybe,
well, especially
maybe bring him out of retirement. We got Coach Cal. So.
Yeah. Especially if the NIL's not there already, then what's appealing about the job anymore? If the NIL's not there, if people aren't giving money, then why would we've thrown Rhett Lashley's name out a lot. If worst case scenario, Sam gets fired, well, he's at SMU, and we know a thing or two about what happens down at SMU and the Pony Express back in the day. We know their donors are rich oil folk. Like, why would he leave that behind? By the way, they just grabbed the USC basketball coach down at SMU. So SMU's appeal is its NIL, without a doubt. And now, of course, they're playing with the big boys. That also helps. But you need to have your NIL has to be in place. I agree with that 110%. If you want the product to be better, then if you can afford it, I get right now we're living in, you're paying double, sometimes triple for groceries compared to what you were a little while back. But yeah, it's got to be in place. If you want to attract a coach, it's got to be there. And we saw what it did with Calipari. We saw what it did. John Tyson, we know how that all the strings attached and everything, and how that all unfolded. Now you've got Cal.
I truly think if John Tyson had not agreed to pay some money for NIL, I don't know if Coach Cal would have come here, truly, because he knows the landscape that we are in college sports, right? He knows that in order to do a complete rebuild of a roster, which was ahead of them at Arkansas since everybody left, that is he knows that I'm going to have money to get good players to come in. If you think that he was able to get the talent that he was without NIL money, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, you're
I don't know the transparency to know that those guys are all offered nice paychecks. And that's great. Now they're being listed as one of the top teams in going into this college basketball season because of the guys he brought in. Now, will that translate to wins? We'll see. We will see.
Yeah.
But at least you have the basis of a great team so far. So that's my thing, is I saw the comments going up. Who are you going to get? Who are you going to get? I get it. I'm just so passionate about it because I know that players want to come here, and because I know I've talked to enough of them to know that they like Sam Pitman. They do. They like Sam Pitman. So can you attract them with your NIL budget? And I honestly think if you keep Bobby Petrino on staff, you keep Travis Williams, you keep those guys that you have on staff. I mean, go down the defensive coach list, go down all the offensive coaches that they got. They have a really strong coaching staff. They do. They really do. So if you can keep them, it's why I think Sam has a little bit more time than people are going to give him credit for.
Yeah.
I think honestly, and people have doubted this as well because they think he's going to be fired throughout the season. I don't think so. I think he's going to be kept on at least until the end of the season.
Okay.
And I think they will address what to do.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was going to say that's a perfect segue into the next question.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're talking about Sam on the hot seat. That's right.
Well, that's all. Everything by the way, if those of you who just kind of came in halfway through that, Courtney just killed it. So you need to go back, watch from the beginning, and get caught up because she's dropping some truth bombs. And okay, that was going to be the second part of this, which was the actual
to clip that, just like who are you gonna get?
So that okay. I was doing that. I think that was either during the Musselman stuff or maybe when Pitman was about, we all thought Pitman was going to get fired. I would do this thing on the post-game shows where I would go, who are you going to get? And they loved it. And I also did a put in Criswell, and it caught fire. It caught fire. It went viral in Tuss Talk Discord. I'll just say that.
Awesome. I love that. I thank you for letting me in on the lore. I'm over here that's hilarious.
Hey,
commenting who you gonna get.
You're a part of this community now, and I gotta let you in on some of this stuff because it's not exactly out there on Twitter and Facebook. It goes viral in our Discord, maybe not everywhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. So we perfect segue here talking about Pitman's hot seat.
Okay.
Let's start off before we get into that. And I put my notes here. So speaking of gambling, good way to segue into Arkansas football. Let's say you got to put an entire year's salary down on Arkansas's win total this year. What do you think? And I know that this is the most obvious question in the world, but what's their win-loss? What do you think in your heart of hearts? You're putting a year's salary down, Courtney. What do you got Arkansas doing this year?
I have to put a year's salary down.
Yeah. Yeah. We go big time or we don't go at all around these parts.
Oh, that makes me so nervous. Because now with putting a whole salary down, I've been saying, because I'm Mike and I are a little bit more positive than some of the other people around these parts. We have been going to practice and we're like, okay, I feel like this team is better than people feel like it is. And I think they can get to a bowl game. So I've been saying, I think a 6-6 record. I've been saying that. I think I could see that, them getting a few wins that maybe people didn't expect them to get. However, you say put a year's salary down, right? And I'm gonna play it safe a little bit. I'm gonna go. They're so close to getting a bowl game, but not in 5-7.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Only because you up the stakes a little bit.
I had to throw something out there to put it on the line, you know. I
up the stakes.
Okay, so you're at 5.
Yeah.
So then with Pitman's, and this has been, again, you talk about one of the pillars, one of the hot topic pillars for Razorback football fans in the offseason. This is it. This is the biggest one. How likely, well, just straight up, does he keep his job? Straight up with 5 wins. And it sounds like I already know your answer, but do you think so? Does he keep his job? And then tell me why.
Okay.
Why or why not?
I think 5 wins. I think I honestly, you go into the off season and I think anything could happen with with just 5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So do I think he'll be fired? I could see, yes, maybe 60-40 on him being gone if he only gets 5 wins. I think if he gets to a bowl game, he's safe.
Yeah.
I really do.
Okay.
Guys, I really think he's safe based on, again, all those things I said, the coaching staff that he's put together, based on his NIL situation. I think Hunter Yurchek understands some of that, behind the scenes stuff that's going on. Players like him. If players hated him, he would be gone. Players like him. They want to play for him. They want to play for people on his staff. So I think if he gets to a bowl game, he is safe.
Okay.
I think 5 wins makes me very iffy on if he's safe or not. If you go 4-8, I think, oof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. We did a poll. We did a poll in Discord, and it was overwhelmingly in favor. Now I say overwhelmingly, I think like 20 people voted, but I think it was like 14 votes that he would keep his job and the rest that he wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard this counter argument yet, and I believe if he only gets to 5, he's gone. I don't know how he keeps his job with just 5 wins. The only counter argument to that is who those 5 wins would be, right? If he went on the road and he beat a ranked Oklahoma State team, if he beat a playoff contender, Texas, Mizzou, somehow you get to 5 and you have 5 really impressive wins. That might be the only way I see that he keeps his job.
Get 5 impressive wins, right?
Yeah.
5 wins. You might be losing to a UAB or a Louisiana Tech.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
Does that make you comfortable? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I played with UAB in one of my dynasty leagues. I'll just say this. I'm like, wow, this UAB team's got some dudes on it. I'm like, man, they better stop the run. So, but no, I literally, I see what you're saying. I do think there is going to be, if there's 5 wins and some are impressive, right? There is going to be a conversation about it. I think there's going to be, like, Hunter Yurchek is going to have the conversations. And whether or not that means he's gone or whether or not that means they're going to give him one more shot, his seat is hot. Let's just say that. I mean, I'm not.
Thank you.
His seat is hot for a reason.
Thank you.
The country knows his seat is hot for a reason. And so Arkansas fans, if you're trying to get people to donate to NIL and get people excited and get people, ready for football season, you need a change. And I get it. I asked the question, who are you going to get, right? But I think sometimes change can just excite a fan base.
Yeah.
Whether or not it means you're going to go out and win, just change can sometimes just be good. And even if that person that you had before, maybe on the, grass is greener on the other side kind of thing, right? Like, oh, we need somebody else, let's get somebody else in. I don't know. I think Arkansas, with the fact that Coach Cal came here, I think the job is more attractive than people want to believe. I really do. I think that's the Coach Cal effect across the whole university. People want to talk about Arkansas now. People want to put them at the forefront. I mean, on media days, when Arkansas went that day on media days, they were the topic of conversation. Everybody wanted to talk about Arkansas. Sorry, you want to talk about a team that went 4-8 last year? Really? Really?
Yeah, I've heard that. I heard that Arkansas was a pretty hot topic.
They were.
despite what happened last year.
They were, and that's partly because of Sam Pitman. He was working the crowd, but also because the Coach Cal effect. Everyone wanted to talk about Arkansas because they could rope in Coach Cal. I mean, they asked the players, what's it like with Coach Cal on campus? Okay, great. I mean,
wow. Well, one of my mods, and you've actually already read one of his questions on your show on with Ask Mike, John, the infamous
John, yes,
John Haas. He wants to know if the hot seat is just made up by fans. Is it, his actual question is, Pitman's hot seat, is it as hot as fans speculate? Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Yeah. Is it as hot as fans? So we already kind of answered that, but I do recall there being a previous debate we were having that this is all fan made, that maybe if his seat is hot, that it's coming from the fans. And I too would say it's not, because it's coming from national media, regional media, local media, and then some fat guy with a microphone and a camera that calls himself Tuss Talk. Everybody says that this guy's hot seat, someone as insignificant as yours truly right here, is saying it. Okay, maybe I've got some skin in the game, but so are the national people. His seat is flaming hot. No doubt about it.
Because Arkansas fans, and I think they know, they're willing to give people, when Pitman came in, they were willing to be, hey, let's see what this guy does, right? I feel like every fan base at least is open to the idea, new coach, okay, let's see what he does, right? Let's see how it goes. I mean, you're going into, now multiple seasons in, year 5, and I think people expect, in the fan base expects more. They expect more. And especially when you look at last season, Arkansas had a lot of buzz about them. They did. I mean, I remember people talking to me, national radio shows, and being like, well, how do you feel about KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders and Lane? The talent that team has, we can't forget that team was very, very, very talented. Yeah. And so I think, and this is where it kind of got me, this is where I kind of was like, oh, what's going to happen? Because Dan Enos was the hire, right, for OC. And that's where people had some questions. People were obviously excited about it, but some people in the media had questions about it. And that's where Sam Pitman kind of, was creating his own coffin a little bit, because that hire was really what affected him being on the hot seat this year. Yeah. Really, let's be honest, folks. That's why. You had an offense that wasn't good last year. You had a defense that was picking up all their slack. They were tired of it. Halfway through the season, they kind of quit. They said, no, we're not going to be a part of this. So now you have a rejuvenation, amongst the program when you bring in a guy like Bobby Petrino. We know what he can do, right? You have this rejuvenation of okay, there's some hope, right? There's some hope. I know some people are like, there's no hope. There's no hope. I get it. But there is some hope, because you bring in a really good OC hire. And so now you just kind of have to wait and see. But it's not just the fans. The fans started, I think. The fans go, we want better, right? And they deserve better. They do. Right. And then you have the media also jump on the boat of this guy's going into his 5th season. You had a talented team last year and you went 4-8.
Yeah.
We need to have a conversation, that in turn puts you on the hot seat. It does. It really does.
The other thing too, Sam Pitman, and again, I'm not trying to, and neither one of us are trying to pile on Sam.
No.
But one of the things that it's just so glaring, and we saw it last year, we saw it a little bit the year before last. How is a 30-year offensive line coach, who's now a head coach, who's been at the same job for 5 years, how is your offensive line in the state that it's in?
That was, yes. And that was another thing that I think national media members also said, another reason why you should be on the hot seat. Your offensive line was a big reason to blame last year. I mean, you were second to last in the SEC. I mean, with 47 sacks allowed. I mean, come on.
That's worse than my Georgia Tech yell. That's worse than my Georgia Tech team on EA College Football, Courtney.
Yes, it is. And it's worse than, I mean, it was worse than Vanderbilt. It was worse than Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt wasn't even dead last in sacks allowed last year. It was Alabama. Fun fact for you guys, if you want to know that. It was Alabama. But guess what? They have enough talent to overcome the offensive line.
Yeah.
That we're really happy. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. That was another reason why people went, so you had all this talent. You have an offensive line genius that's not only the head coach, but also helping with the offensive line. And you can't get what's happening here. What's going on? Why are we 4-8? Why are we 4-8?
This year alone, and I know others have mentioned this, and I talked with this in my last live show. If you lose Carmona at left tackle this year, your whole year might be forfeit.
Yes.
Josh Street is your backup, and no disrespect. I know there's family members that'll DM me from time to time. Uh-oh, we lost her. Oh no, I think she accidentally hung up. Well, we'll see if there she goes. There she is. She came back.
Oh, sorry. It booted me up, but you're right. Keep going.
Josh Street is your left tackle. No disrespect. Okay.
No.
You're in trouble, though, if Carmona goes down. And I realize there are a lot of schools that can say that about their left tackle, that, man, you're in some trouble. No, I think Arkansas, their season could almost hinge on that left tackle spot, which is
absolutely. And that is a scary situation to be in, because you have so many teams that talk about throughout fall camp depth, right? Depth. We need depth. And that's obviously that's a real issue, right? You need depth in every position group. And hey, we're lacking depth here. We're lacking depth here. Yep. I loved getting to talk to the Travis Williams, Marcus Woodson, Darren Wilson, the defensive guys, because they're like manufacturing depth, right? They're just like, okay, Larry Worth, you're going to play linebacker, you're going to play DB, right? We're going to manufacture some depth in these positions and move some guys around, right? That's really smart. My question is, okay, where are we manufacturing depth on the offensive line?
Yeah, it's not there.
It's not
there. And it's just not a good reflection of a guy who's an offensive line coach for 30 years. I understand that he's not an offensive line coach now. I understand that, but man, that's your background. Like that's your background.
That's like, I mean, you have to, if you are a guru, of that, that's where you have to be thriving every year. In my opinion, that should be, if everything else is terrible with Arkansas, but the offensive line under Sam Pitman is good. Okay, great, fine. All right, whatever. At least he's doing good on that wasn't the case last year. I mean, that just wasn't the case. And so you also worry when you hear him say things like, yeah, we threw 8 interceptions, but that's just not on the quarterback. Sometimes that's also on the protection of the offensive line. And we didn't do good with our protection. And I'm like, please don't be saying this, Sam. Like, just hold some things back. I do not need to be hearing this.
Yeah. It's weird because we want transparency. We want media. We want him to say, we're trying to get something out of him when he's asked a question. I've only ever asked a couple of questions, but because I think some of the media, I think they do a pretty good job asking some pretty good questions. And at times you kind of wonder, like, when are the tougher questions coming? But that's something I hear daily. Ty, where are the tougher questions? Where are they? Listen, I
go on a 20-minute rant about that, because
I've always felt like the writers and I always want the writers to get their questions in. That's always been my philosophy. I'm just here to observe, and then I'm going to come report back here to my viewers about it. Right. And if I have a question, I'll ask it. But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but I don't know what's going on with some of the things that he said. The comment that he made about not knowing what to do, that was, I get taken, that might be somewhat taken out of context, but it's still some of the things that he says. It's like, man, Sam, okay, you're really kind of you're hammering your own nail in your coffin, man. Maybe just
Yeah, sometimes I wish I could be like, tell him on a PR side of things, like, hey, this is not going to sound good. We know it's the truth.
Yeah.
But it's not going to sound good. It's kind of the same thing I tell people when they go, where's the tough questions? We do ask tough questions. I think some of the writers ask some brilliantly tough questions, but not asking it in the way you want to hear it, right? You want to get up there, raise our hand and go, Sam, why haven't you been fired yet?
Oh my God. I could just imagine that. Wow.
You know how quick, if I raise my hand, I can absolutely do it. No one's stopping me.
Yeah.
If I raise my hand and ask Sam, why haven't you been fired yet? Like if I ask him that, I will tell you the answer I will get. Next question. And I will never get called on again. I will be allowed in press conferences. I will be allowed to be there, but will I get a microphone? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Will I get interviews from the team? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. So you have to be strategic in the way you ask your questions, right? It's something they teach you in journalism 101, right? Don't come out and ask a question that you know your interviewee is going to shut off, right? They are going to go, excuse me, can you imagine if someone walked into your place of work and said, Ty, why haven't you been fired yet? You're not going to go, well, thank you so much for asking the question. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you exactly why I haven't been fired yet. You're going to go, next question, get the heck out, you know? So imagine how you would want to be asked a question, right? How you yourself would be best responsive to answering a question. And that's what media does. That's the best way I can explain it, guys. Yeah. You would not want the same treatment. So how would you want somebody to ask you a question? Tactful questioning. There you go.
There it is. Yeah.
Tanner, great stuff there. That's exactly what you have to do. And go back and listen to any of the press conferences. If you do this, bonus points. We'll give you a gold star from Pig Trail Nation or whatever. I don't know.
XP and Tuss Talk Discord.
XP. We'll give you a gold star, whatever. But go back and listen to some of the questions throughout in those post-game press conferences. You'll see what I'm talking about, where somebody, it's Bob, it's Tom, it's Andrew Hutchinson, it's Trey Biddy. Yeah. They're asking the same question you want, just in a weirdly worded way so that they'll get an answer.
Yeah.
Right?
And also, to be fair, and you're exactly right, because I catch it, you know, because I go back and I watch not all of them. If I'm not in on the Zoom call, sometimes I'll go back and watch. But there have been times where I'm like, okay, I see what he just did there. That wasn't exactly what I thought. But also, in both sides' defense, the U of A, they do have to be on narrative control. Mm-hmm. They have to be on narrative control, and that's their job. And honestly, as a fan, you kind of want them to be, yes, transparent. Yes, you want to know. You would love for them to talk more about individual players and exactly what's going on with like injuries. But, you know, Pitman's talked about a little bit as to why he doesn't talk much about on that. Right. And then the media, just like you said, and just like Dan Tanner pointed out, and I think Courtney, you summed it up very well. You've got to be tactful in how you approach those questions. And again, the U of A, Kyle's got a job to do. The SID, he's got a very important job to do.
And I also watch him in the press conferences too. You can tell when somebody's asked a question in a way, because you can see like a little bit on his face where he's like, oh, that's okay. Now looking at Sam to see how I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
So the people are asking the questions in ways where, but hey, Sam Pitman can also spin zone it, right? We can ask the question in a tactical way. He can answer it also in a way that will make them look good, right?
Exactly.
It goes both ways, guys. It goes both ways. Sometimes we can ask the questions that you want to hear. Also, they don't have to answer it like you want to hear, right?
Exactly. So speaking of the media and the U of A, what do you make of Arkansas, or excuse me, of the media limited access this year moving forward? Because it looks like that's what they're going to do. And I think you talked to me at practice about it. They're basically going to shut down practice to the media, or what are your thoughts on that? What exactly is happening here? Or what do you think is happening?
Yeah, Ty, when you first started that question, I thought you were going to be like, what do you think of media members here in Arkansas? And I thought,
no.
Oh, are we trying to get some drama in this?
No. I like all those guys.
Oh, listen, shout out to all the Arkansas media members. I love chatting with Trey and guys. I mean, they are good people. Seriously, shout out to all those guys who are there every single day. Trey, Andrew, Tom, Bob, they're good people. So anyways, shout out to you, Ty, as well. Shout out to you. But got you. But to answer your question, I noticed that and I kind of went, that's weird. For those of you that don't know, last year and even the year before that, I want to say, we were able to go to practice during game weeks, right? So they opened it on maybe Monday and Tuesday, and then they would, the rest of the week it would be closed, but they would open it on like maybe a Monday or Tuesday. And so we would get to see at least something in the week, right? And that's when last year we actually got to see Sam Pitman when the offensive line was struggling. We got to see him working with those guys specifically. Yep. So that was kind of cool right there that we got to see that. We got to report on that. However, this year it's different, right? As of right now, practice is closed and practice will not be opened up at all during the season. Not at all. And so my take on that is last year they closed down practice when Dan Enos was fired, right? Yep. And so that's what we kind of got to see, is that we didn't really get to see anything, and for obvious reasons, right? Dan Enos was just fired. We're not opening practice does not benefit the Arkansas football team at all in a situation like that. So they closed it down, did not reopen it for the rest of the year. But starting just with, hey, all you got to see was fall camp and now you don't get to see anything else. What I kind of think about that is maybe that's a Sam Pitman, because I'm on the hot seat, I'm not giving y'all anything. I want to make sure it's closed. I want to make sure we're a tight-knit group. We're not showing anything. We're not showing our cards, right? Or some people have suggested, I think somebody in the chat even suggested Bobby Petrino maybe once it's shut down. I don't necessarily believe that. I think Bobby would be okay with maybe opening. He's a different man. I think Bobby would be okay if Sam wanted to open practice. Bobby would be okay with one day. We don't get to see much anyways. Yeah. So it's not really like Bobby's like, they're going to know my plays. No. We get to see 15, 20 minutes maybe.
Fastball if we're lucky.
That's if we're lucky. I really just believe it was Sam. Sam said, I know I'm on the hot seat. I know opening practice does nothing to benefit me. It does nothing to benefit me. It does nothing to benefit my team. It doesn't. Like, think about it. It does absolutely nothing beneficial if we can see that Jaquindon Jackson is not participating this week, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that doesn't help them, right? Because we're going to report on that. We're going to be like, hey, we saw Jaquindon Jackson in street clothes. All right, right? I mean, that's what we're going to say. And that doesn't benefit Arkansas. So I understand where Sam is coming from. I think he's also taking more of a bigger program approach. Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, those are just some to name a few. They don't give you anything.
Nothing. Yeah.
I will talk to my friends at Alabama and they're like, you get to go see one practice? I was like, we actually get to go see like 10, 20, like we actually get to go see quite a bit, Yeah. So Arkansas has been really good about media and letting people see what's going on and being very open. I actually really appreciate Arkansas's media access for stuff because they have always been pretty open about things.
Yeah, they have.
I feel like even when Musselman was here on the basketball team, I didn't feel like he was a guy that liked to open practices, and he still opened practices for us for a few of them. So I think maybe it's a Pitman thing. That's what I'm leaning towards, is that Sam kind of knows I'm going to keep my cards close to my chest. I understand the pressure that I'm put under this year. I understand what I have to do this season. And so less distractions, less people at practice, less people to talk about what's going on. Let's keep it closed doors. Let's keep it tight.
Yeah, because what was that 2 years ago when KJ Jefferson we didn't know if he was going to play that week or not, and he didn't participate with the quarterbacks.
Yes.
I uploaded a video on Twitter of just the quarterbacks that were participating, and it got quote tweeted by a couple of people like, "Oh, look, there's no KJ." And then I was accused of hurting the football program. And I thought about it like, well, wait a minute. There might be a point to that because KJ's not in the shot. He wasn't in the shot. And I'm sitting there and I've got Kendall Briles in the shot. I mean, you're there. We're trying to get footage.
Oh,
and I'm trying to upload something, and I needed quarterbacks that week. And it just so happened to be that KJ didn't play or he was restricted that week in practice.
Yeah.
And so maybe they had a point, but I still got a job to do. At the end of the day, I've got a job to do. So it makes sense, and I agree with you. I think tactfully it makes sense. We're talking about tactics a lot today.
Yeah, using that word a lot today.
Well, I'll close it out. And by the way, unbelievable. Thank you so much for coming on here. You crushed it. We're getting all kinds of compliments in Discord. I'm going to go back.
I'll cry.
We do appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to close out with this. What are you in with UCF in EA College Football 2.5 in the Open League? Are you 7-1?
Yes. And I think maybe someone can correct me, but I think I might be ranked too.
You might be. I actually have the game up right now, and I was going to pull that up. I think you are ranked.
I think I am ranked, or maybe it's in the Mike's Dynasty.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. And by the way, for anyone who cares, I've got my first Tuss Talk with Ty user victory. I'm now 1-15.
Yes.
Shout out to Mac. Oh, buddy, you were my first victim. Let me look. Hang on. I think you are ranked. Now I'm like curious. Top 25. You've got to be somewhere in there, right? Yeah, you are. You're 21st.
Yes. I knew I was ranked. I was like, I feel like I'm ranked.
Yeah, you're undefeated in conference. 6-1 overall.
There we go.
And it's all about KJ, right? With that offense.
So yeah, and so the thing I realized, and like literally, I have to give a shout out to my boyfriend Jeff, because he was like, "Courtney, you're playing UCF wrong," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "You're playing them wrong. What does KJ do well?" And I go, "Oh, I gotta utilize KJ. I gotta utilize his feet." And he was like, "Yes, you gotta run KJ." So I literally started scrambling with. I know. Who would have thought, right? I literally, what am I, Dan Enos, and I don't know how to run an offense with KJ? It's fine. But yeah, exactly. So literally, and any time that all my receivers are covered, I'm just like scrambling and just taking off. And or I'll do a QB read option, and just kind of be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Our UCF has a great running back core as well this year. So that's going to, yeah, they do. And so they have some really, really good running backs. And so I've been utilizing them as well. So basically that's what I've been doing. Don't use it against me now, whoever my user game.
So I will. Okay. So yeah. And again, who would have thought KJ's not a drop back passer? Oh my goodness. Who would have thought? Dan Enos, Sam Pitman. Who would have thought? Yeah, you're crushing it. He's got and I'm looking at your numbers right now. Your pass completion percentage, 66%. That seems pretty. We won't talk about the touchdown interception ratio.
Okay, it was because I was not utilizing KJ correctly. Okay?
Yeah.
I was trying to throw some long bombs into double coverage.
Oh yeah, your run game. Yeah. Harvey's killing it for you. Wow.
Great. I mean, honestly. There's no joke that he was showing up on like one of the top running backs in the nation, like kind of lists and stuff. And I was like, all right. And then in the game, I'm like, okay, no, he's actually really good.
Yeah. I wonder what UCF does this year. And I know a lot of Hog fans are going to pay a little bit of attention, even if it's just out of envy.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. They're going to beat Florida. I'm telling you now.
But that's out of your hatred. Right? Is that a little bias against
It might be. Some people just know I have some feelings about Billy Napier. Y'all want to talk about Sam Pitman, I've got some feelings about the Billy Napiers over there. You know, he's going to be catching some strays on this live.
He's catching strays.
But he is. That's
how
y'all can talk with me about it in the Discord. But
yeah,
they know I got a lot of feelings about him. Got a lot of feelings.
For sure, and kind of rightfully so. I thought it was a good hire for them. I really did. I thought, wow, okay, I mean, I thought they could do better because it's Florida, but still, I liked it as a hire. And boy,
we heard a lot of good things. We said, okay, get rid of Dan Mullen. He didn't recruit, right? Okay, bring in Billy Napier, who can recruit. But I guess we decided that we wanted to get a guy who couldn't really coach. So
yeah. Well, they both could be. It's possible they both could be looking for a new head coach.
It honestly, and this may be my hatred, and I just have said to so many Florida fans this year, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone during the season. I wouldn't be.
Yeah,
that fan base is so. I mean, I know Sam Pitman is the hottest seat by CBS, right? And Billy Napier second, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose to UCF and they're like, nah.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. It's going to be this year is interesting simply because of the hot seat of these coaches. This year alone, that is like worth what. And then I'm looking at Michigan State. Yeah. I'm looking at Georgia Tech, where there's some excitement with these programs. They're trying to build themselves back up. Of course, you've got UTSA and some of these smaller schools over in Texas. That's what I love about college football, Courtney. Like that's why I picked Georgia Tech, because I like these mid or lower tier teams and fighting their way up to being relevant. I love that about college football.
I the most beautiful thing about it all. I mean, genuinely, like, you have these teams and even these smaller schools with less NIL money and less resources who are just purely just like, okay, we're out here to win. Like, you have a UAB that really wants to go out there and beat Arkansas because they're like, you know what? We're trying to prove ourselves. And I honestly, I root for that. I just feel like that's what you love. That's what you love to see. I mean,
beautiful.
What's great about the sport?
It is. It's beautiful. It really is. And we're almost there. We're so close. I'm so excited. Courtney, again, thank you so much for coming on. We're getting I mean, my phone's blowing up. I'm not kidding. Like, oh my God.
Y'all are so awesome. Like, I really do believe, I have to shout you out, Ty, because I really do believe coming into the Discord, like, you have a bunch of Hog fans that love just to talk about, you know, college sports, the Hogs in general, and just, I mean, good people. I mean, it's like, I feel like every time people are like telling you have terrible takes, but then they're talking about it. They're having fun with each other. I mean, it's a good community.
Yeah.
And shout out to the community there. I mean, if you're not part of the Discord, join it. It's really, really fun.
There you go. That's all the endorsement I'll ever need right there. I'm just going to clip that. She said it. Courtney said, join it. You know, there might be a few gambling degenerates in there that are always hitting me up about XP and doing the wheel spins for the XP. It's like daily. I'm getting DMs every day. Ty, spin that wheel. We want XP. But no, it is great. I appreciate. Shout out to my mods. We don't always agree, but that's the thing. Like you just mentioned, it's a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, it's Arkansas football or Arkansas athletics, right? We're all in with the Razorbacks.
Yeah, people aren't jerks there. I just thank you guys for not being super big jerks. Like, y'all can disagree, but I mean, everyone's really nice. Like, I think that's like all you ask for with an online community is that, like, okay, respect each other. And I feel like they do that. So shout out to you guys. Honestly, I enjoy being part of it. Thank you for watching today.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it. Again, shout out to the sponsors, of course, who help make this possible. Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than the best. They are the best, period. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead. And, of course, Insurance Max, who covers the state corner to corner, offering business, personal, life, and health insurance, retirement. They shop the best rates for you. All those links to those businesses are provided for you down below in the description box. And yeah, Courtney said it. Come join the Patreon. Join Patreon, yes, but come join the Discord. Come be a part of it. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't think I play you this year on EA College Football, but we got to set that up, Courtney.
We will. I have a list of people that somebody made in the Discord of people that want to play with me, and I absolutely want to. So I plan on doing that. I swear I am going to get to it. It's just my life is crazy during football season, y'all. I love y'all, but mine is like literally my life is crazy. So I will get to you guys, and yes, Ty, we will definitely play. We have to. We just have to.
We got to do it. We got to make it happen. All right, everybody, on your way out, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go follow her on Twitter. Of course, watch her and Mike. It's some of the best Razorback content. I don't care who you are. My dad watches like every episode. I've got family members that are like, "Did you listen to Mike and Courtney this weekend?" So, yeah, go be a part of that. Go watch their videos and go support our girl Courtney.
Please, I love that. I love the support. I love you guys. So thank you.
All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. We've got the one and only Mason Choate from Rivals. He's going to be on tomorrow. Oh, and then we'll have Ty Richardson the day after that. So,
hey, look at the guests.
We're lining them up. We're lining them up and knocking them down.
I love it. I'm here for it.
Awesome. I'll see you around, Courtney.
See you around, Ty. Thanks for having me on.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I knew she would kill it. She did a great job. Look forward to all the conversations happening in Discord. My phone is also blowing up. My wife is telling me something about my kid getting in trouble at school, so I get to go deal with that now. I don't know what's going on actually, but yeah, I appreciate all you guys. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, support Courtney, Pig Trail Nation. Ask Mike. Courtney kills it on that as well. She's good at what she does. And you heard her talk about all the stuff with NIL. Wow. I mean, I'm just going to say that was awesome. That was great. A great conversation with her. Probably one of the best interviews. We've had a lot of really good ones. That's got to be up there as one of the goats right there. All right. I'll see you guys at Discord. Yes, we're going to spin wheels and do all sorts of stuff today. I've also got some stuff to do outside out in town, but I will be around, so feel free to tag me in Discord if you want that wheel spin. And maybe we'll do another big wheel spin tonight. I feel like we're overdue for another big one, another big spin tonight. Okay. I will see you guys around. I'll see you tomorrow, actually. Be here. Mason Choate, 11 o'clock. Don't miss it.